Okay, good evening everyone. We'll start in just 5 minutes. Let's wait for your friends to join. If you can hear my voice and able to see the screen, type yes in the chat box so that we will start. So as you can see, today we are going to start with ratio and proportions, and eventually we are going to do the next topics. So before moving on, I will give you a simple problem. If anybody has any doubts, you can ask after completion of that problem. Okay, all of you, please try to solve this question so that I will know how much you know about ratio and proportions. Okay, so try to solve it as fast as you can. So the question is like this: if a is to b equal to 1 is to 2, then find out the value of 2a plus 3b by a square plus b. You are having only the ratio of a and b, like a is to b equal to 1 is to 2, and I want you to find out the value of 2a plus 3b by a square plus b. Try to find out as fast as you can. Guys, your friends are not joining, so we'll wait for 1-2 minutes. Then I will tell you the solution. Okay. In the meantime, give it a try. Uh, 24. You got like that? No, 24 is not the answer. No, not 3. Okay, let's continue, they will join. So guys, the problem here is, see, generally what people will do is, whenever I say a is to b equal to 1 is to 2, the most common thing they do is they will take a equal to 1 and b equal to 2. So before moving on to this problem, I will solve one more problem, that is 2a plus 3b by a plus b. Let us take a equal to 1 and b equal to 2 here. Then what will happen? You are going to get the answer like this. I am not giving the basic because we already know this topic, so I am just going to give you a brush up. So here what will happen? You are going to get the answer as 8 by 3. But if you are saying the same answer for this one also, then what's the difference between this one and the question which I am asking? Now the problem comes. A is to b 1 is to 2 doesn't mean that a equal to 1 and b equal to 2. Why? Because ratio is the smallest form of comparison. See, a can be 10 and b can be 20. Then also you are going to get the ratio as 1 is to 2. Or if a equal to 50 and b equal to 100, again you are going to get the ratio as 1 is to 2. Okay, now that means that you are going to have some other numbers. In that numbers, let us take 10 and 20, you are going to cancel some common numbers, then you are going to get the ratio. So if you want to get the original numbers from the ratio, what you need to do here is, if you know the ratio, multiply the ratio with the number you have cancelled, so that you will get the original numbers. But in our case, I am saying that a is to b equal to 1 is to 2, but I don't know what are the original numbers. That's why I am going to assume that the table I have cancelled here is some x. Then what will happen to the original numbers? A equal to x and b equal to 2x. Why? Because whenever I multiply the ratio with the number I am cancelling, I am going to get back my original numbers. Then what will happen in this problem? You are going to get the answer like this. If you observe carefully, you are going to get the answer as 8 by 3. That means that even though if you don't know the table that you are cancelling here, at the end it will get cancelled in the numerator and denominator. That's why you are going to get the answer as 8 by 3. But let's come back to our problem and see what is going to happen here. If you observe very carefully, see this one. I am going to take the same equation, but here in the denominator I am having a square plus b. That means this one. If you do it properly, you are going to get like this. You are going to get the answer as 8 by x plus 2. As long as you don't know the value of x, you can't find out the answer here. That means that if you don't know what is the number you are cancelling, you can't find out the answer here. So what I want to convey here is, you can take a equal to 1, b equal to 2, as long as if you are having same powers in the numerator as well as denominator. See here, a power 1, b power 1, here a power 1 and b power 1. When you are having same powers, you can take a equal to 1 and b equal to 2, and you can do the problem. It's not going to change your answer. But when you are having different powers, in our equation we are having here a power 1, but in the denominator we are having a power 2, that is a square. So whenever you are having different powers, always you are going to left out with one more x. That's why for these kind of answers or questions, the answer is always cannot be determined. So remember, when you are not having the same powers and in numerator and denominator, the answer is always cannot be determined. Don't take a equal to 1 and b equal to 2. Is it clear, everyone? I am going to repeat one more time, so if you are having any doubt, that will get cleared here. Now what I am saying is, if your problem is like this, 2a plus 3b by a plus b, if you observe very carefully, you are having same powers, like same max powers, a power 1 and b power 1, and here denominator a power 1 and b power 1. When you are having same max power, you can take a equal to 1 and b equal to 2, you will get your answer. Even if you take x and 2x also, you are going to get the same answer. You can do like that as long as if you are having same powers in numerator and denominator. But in the question which I have given you, you are having different powers in numerator and denominator. In that case, you should not take a equal to 1 and b equal to y. If you take a equal to 1 and b equal to 2, you are going to get the answer as 8 by 3. But the actual answer is 8 by x plus 2. As long as you don't know the value of x, you can't say a definite answer for these kind of questions. That's why when numerator and denominator powers are not same, you no need to do the problem. The answer is always cannot be determined. If it is clear, type yes. We will move on to the next problem. If you are having any doubt, I will wait for 1 minute. Let me know in the chat box. If it is clear, type clear or C in the chat so that I will know you are done with the problem and we will move on to the next one. If it is clear, please type C in the chat box. Type clear or C. Okay, I will give you 1 more minute. Try to solve this problem as fast as you can. Okay, what is the answer for this one? Now see, we are going to learn how to simplify the ratios. That's the main intention of this particular session. Why? Because whatever the topics that I am going to explain next, all of those topics are depending on ratio and proportions. We are going to learn a lot of shortcuts from this topic. That's why even if you are having the slightest doubt, please let me know. Now see what will happen here. I know that here here a by 2 equals to b by 3 equals to c by 4, and I want to find out a plus b plus c by a. Okay, as long as I don't know the values of a, b and c, I can't find out the answer for this particular question. Now, how you are going to find out the answer for these kind of questions when you are having in the fractional form? Listen, remember one thing, multiplying or dividing the ratio with the same number is not going to affect the value of ratio. That means 1:2 is same as 50:100, or 50:100 is same as 5:10. That is same as again 1:2. Anyway, you are going to cancel all the common tables. So 50:100 is same as 1:2. So if you multiply or divide the ratio with the same number is not going to affect the value of ratio here. So what I am going to do here is I want to find out the values a, b, c. That's why I am going to assume all of them as some variable k. Why I am assuming it as k? Why? Because if I take this one, I can easily find out the value of a, b, c. See, assume that a by 2 equal to k, then a will be equals to 2k, then b by 3 equal to k, then b equals to 3k, then c by 4 equal to k, then c equal to 4k. So I know a equal to 2k and b equal to 3k and c equal to 4k. Now I can easily find out the value for my equation. So what will happen here? 2k plus 3k plus 4k by denominator is 2k. So 5 plus 4, 9k by 2k, your answer is going to be 9 by 2. Is it clear? So whenever you want to simplify a ratio which is in the form of fractions, always equate them equals to some variable k, then find out individual values of a, b, c and place them in the equation, you will get your answer. Okay, if you want you can take a screenshot, then if it is clear type C in the chat box. I will move on to the next one. If you are having any doubt or if you want me to repeat, type R, I will repeat the problem. Otherwise type C, we will move on to the next one. Guys, is it clear? Okay, listen, as it is YouTube live, you are going to face around 10 seconds delay, so I will wait that time. Yeah, all of you, so this one. In the previous problem, what we have done is, when we are having in the fractional form like p by q form, we learned how to simplify the ratio. Now here we are having like p into q form, like multiplication format. Then how you are going to do the problem? Okay, in the previous one we are having p by q, it's taken as p into q, like that. Now how you are going to find the value of the given ratio? Do it as fast as you can and let me know the answer in the chat box. Try to find out the answer here. And one more thing here is, if we ever pause the video, you are not gonna be in sync with the live. So whenever you close the app, please check whether you are having live or not. If it is not live, just close and open the video once again so that you can exactly in sync with the video. Okay. Okay, let us see how to solve this one. So easiest way here is, whenever you are having these kind of multiplication format, see, take all the numbers you are having here and equate all of them into those numbers LCM. Why only LCM? You will know once I have solved the problem. See, what the LCM of 2, 3 and 4, that's equal to 12. So assume that 2a equals to 3b equal to 4c equals to 12. Why? Because if you have equating like that, then you can easily find out the values of a, b and c. See this one. If 2a equal to 12, then a equals to 6. Then if 3b equals to 12, then b equals to 4, and 4c equals to 12, then c equals to 3. So if you have taken the LCM, you are always going to get the integer round figure values. But if you are taking any other random numbers, you are going to get decimals. That's why whenever you are having in this multiplication format, always equate them to their LCM. Then find out individual numbers values like a value, b value and c value. What we got here, we need to find out a plus b by c. So it will be 6 plus 4, 10 by c value is 3. So the answer is going to be 10 by 3. That's it. If it is in p by q form, equals to some constant value. If it is into p into q form, simply equate them to their LCM. That's it. So if it is clear, please type your answer in the chat, or if it is clear, please type C. We'll move on to the next one. So before moving on to some more difficult questions, I would like to tell you one shortcut way to find out the ratios. For example, see here, a is to b, like a is to b equal to some 3 is to 5, and b is to c equal to from let's make it difficult, some 6 is to 7, and c is to d equal to, let us take 2 is to 1, something like that. So I want to find out the values of a is to b is to c is to d. I know a is to b equal to 3 is to 5, b is to c equal to 6 is to 7, and c is to d equal to 2 is to 1, and I want to find out the value of a is to b is to c is to d. So what generally we are going to do here is, we are going to simplify step by step, like we are going to first equate b, then we are going to equate c. It is going to take lot of time. So the easiest way of doing these kind of problems is, follow along with me, I will tell you shortcut and best method. So observe the first two ratios, and what is the common variable here? B. So write b in the middle, one side a and one side c. Again observe the next two ratios, and what is the common variable here? C. So write c in the middle, one side b is already there, so write d on the other side. Now from here follow along with me, and if you are having any doubt, please let me know after completion of the problem. See here, a is to b equal to 3 is to 5. So a is to b equal to 3 is to 5. Write a below 3 and b below 5. Then leave that line and move on to the next line. B is to c is 6 is to 7. So b below 6 and c below 7. Okay. Once we are done with that one, what is the next ratio? C is to d. It is 2 is to 1. So leave that line and move on to the next line, right? C is to d equal to 2 is to 1. If you observe carefully, we are having some empty spaces there. So how you are going to fill those empty spaces? So here what you need to do is, whichever the number you are having adjacent to the blank, like here we are having a blank for C, but the immediate left of that number is 5. So write 5 here. Similarly for D, again we have to write 5 because that's the immediate adjacent number. But for the blank here, what is the immediate number? 7. For the blank here, the immediate number is 6. For the blank here 2, and again for here 2. So what you need to do here is, whatever the number you are having immediate left of right, you have to write that number. It can be immediate left or it can be immediate right. You just need to write and copy that number to the previous or next place. Now the last step remaining here is, you just need to multiply them vertically like this. Like for this one 3 into 6 into 2, for this one 5 into 6 into 2, for this one 5 into 7 into 2, for this one 5 into 7 into 1. So that is going to give you your final answer, like 3 into 6 into 2, you are going to get 36 here. Again 5 into 6 into 2, you are going to get 60 here. Here 5 into 7 into 2, you are going to get 70. Again 5 into 7, 35. So this will be your final answer. A is to B is to C is to D. I am repeating once again what you need to do here. Right, take only two variables at a time. For example, if you are having A is to B as 3 is to 5, write 3 below A and 5 below B. Then leave that line and move on to the next line. B is to C as 6 is to 7. So B below 6 and C below 7. Next C is to D as 2 is to 1. Again C below 2 and D below 1. As you can see, we are having some blanks here, like here, here. In all those blanks, what you need to do here is, whatever the number that is there in immediate left or immediate right, write that number. So for C blank, we are having immediate left as 5, so copy 5 here. Again for this one 7, for this one 6, and so on. At the end, you need to multiply them vertically like this. Vertical line, vertical line, vertical line, vertical line. That will give you your direct answer. Now you may ask, sir, what's the use of this method? The advantage of this method is, let us take, they are asking you to find out only A is to D. They are asking you to find out only A is to D. If it is any, like if you want to go step by step, still you have to find out A, B, C, D values. But in this method, what you need to do here is simply multiply A line and D line. Okay, you will get your answer directly. No need to do anything. No need to do extra calculation at all. Whichever the line you want, like whichever the ratio you want, simply multiply that vertical line. Okay, I will give you 1 minute time for you to understand what's happening there. Then I will give you one more example by taking just 3 variables. Okay, Look and try to understand what's actually happening there. Then I will give you one more example. If it is clear, please type C in the chat box. We'll move on to next example. Okay. So the next example I want to give you here is, sorry, let us take a simple question. For example, A is to B equal to 2 is to 3 and B is to C equal to, let us take 5 is to 3. Then I want to find out A is to B is to C. That's it. So what I am saying here is, what is A is to B here? 2 is to 3. So A below 2 and B below 3. Leave that line. Then B is to C is 5 is to 3. You are seeing two blanks here. So whichever number is immediate left or whichever number is immediate right, write that number and simply multiply them vertically. A is to B 10, like 2 into 5 10, 3 into 5 15 and 3 into 3 9. That's it. This is going to be your final answer. A below A, B below B. Like that, whenever you are finding a blank, copy the immediate left or immediate right number, you will get your answer after multiplying them vertically. Now the question number. So, if you are having only one blank, you can take immediate left or immediate right. What if your blank is in the middle? Yeah, I will explain that one. So leave this one, see this one. A is to B equal to, for example, 1 is to 2 and A is to C equal to 3 is to 5. I want to find out A is to B is to C. Now the problem here is, if you write simply ABC, you are going to write 1 is to 2 here and AC is 3 5. You can see you are getting blank in the middle. Then which number you are going to copy? Is it 3 or is it 5? So that's why I am saying, don't by heart like you have to copy the, you have to write ABCD. You have to write the common number in the middle. Common number in the middle, in sense you should not write like this. What you need to do here is identify the common letter in your ratios. So the common letter here is A. So write A in the middle, one side B and one side C. Now see here 1 is to 2. So 1 is to 2. Then 3 is to 5. 3 is to 5. Now you are going to get only one possibility, either left side or right side. Then multiply them vertically, like 2 into 3 6, 1 into 3 3 and 1 into 5 5. This will be your final answer. But remember, this is actually BAC, but I want ABC. So your answer is going to be 3 6 and 5. Is it clear? If it is clear, please type yes. We will move on to somewhat difficult problems from now onwards. All the 4 problems which I have solved till now, these are just to give you some basic idea of ratio and proportions. That's it. Okay, I hope this one is clear. All of you, please solve this problem and let me know the answer. Use everything that you have learned till now to find out the answer for this question. See, don't take ratio and proportions as light, like easy topic. Why? Because whatever the shortcuts we are going to learn next, all of them are depending on ratio and proportions. Why? Because if it is a normal problem, we have to do with 50 and 100. But if it is a ratio and proportions, the same answer you can get by using just 1 and 2. That's why please don't take a ratio and proportions as light. Try to learn this topic first, then I will explain all the other topics in a simplified manners by taking ratio and proportions as the base. That's why. Okay, see here. Now I will tell you what generally people will do. That's the wrong way to find out the answer. So we know that the ratio of three numbers is 2 is to 6 is to 3, and we know product equal to 47916. So what they will do is they will simply multiply like this: 2 into 6 into 3, that is equal to how much you are getting? 12 into 3, that is 36. They will write 36. So my problem 36 equal to original problem 47916, and they will find out 1 unit value, then they find out 2 units value, 6 units value and 3 units value, which is utterly wrong. Why? Because I told you that if the ratio is 2 6 3, it doesn't mean that the numbers are 2 is to 6 is to 3. So what you need to do in these kind of problems here is, if you know the ratio as 2 is to 6 is to 3, you have to take the original numbers as 2x, 6x and 3x. So what happens if you multiply these three numbers? If you multiply these three numbers, the x is also going to get multiplied 3 times. So you are going to get not 36, it's gonna be 36x cube, and in the problem this value as given as 47916. So you can find out the value of x cube as 47916 by 36. You are going to get 1331. Then x is going to be cube root of 1331, which is equals to 11. But I don't want to find out the value of x. I want to find out the values of the original three numbers, that is 2x, 6x and 3x. The original value of the first number is 22. Why? Because 2 into x, 2 into 11. This is 66 and this one is 33. These are the three original values of the given ratio. Check it out once. If you are having any doubt, please let me know. Then we will move on to the next problem. So what's actually happening here is, so most people will forget about multiplying that x. They will simply multiply 2, 6 and 3 and they will say the answer is 36 equal to 47916. No, you have to multiply the variable also, that is the number you are actually cancelling. I am taking it as some x table. So you are going to get x cube. If you first find the value of x, then you can find out 2x, 6x and 3x values. Okay. Now we are going to discuss this ratio and proportions for next 10 minutes, then we will move on to partnership. Okay guys, try to solve this one as fast as you can. Okay, you can use whatever the method you want, that's completely fine. I will explain the question first, then you can solve it on your own. So see here, what he is saying is, how much water should be subtracted from 30 liters of solution. See, initially he is having 30 liters of solution in a tank. In this it is 25% acidic. That means in this solution 25% is acid and remaining 75% is some, let us take water. Okay, now if you want to make it 30% acidic, if you want to convert this 25% into 30%, how much water you have to remove to make or to increase the percentage from 25% to 30%? How much water you have to remove? That's what you need to find out here. The solution is actually only 25% acidic solution and you want to make it 30% acidic solution. Then how much water you have to remove from this solution, that's what you need to find out here. Solve it and give me the answer in the next 1 or 2 minutes, then I will explain the problem using ratio and proportions as well as using normal method. Solve it. No, not percent. Actually, it is already there. We want to make it 30%. How many liters of water you have to remove? Okay, I will make it somewhat simpler for you so that you can get some idea. See guys, let us take, I am having a container. In that container, I am having 1 liter of acid and 2 liters of water. Then if I want to find out acidic percentage, what I am going to do? If I am saying, let us take 5 is what percentage of 10? 5 is what percent of 10 here? I know 5 is half of 10, which is 50%. So 5 is what percent of 10? How you are going to get this 50%? See, whatever the number you want, you have to write it on the numerator. Whatever the total number you are comparing with, that is 10, you have to write in the denominator and multiply this number with 100. So if I am saying that x is what percent of y, that means that x by y into 100. Like 5 is what percent of 10? 5 is 50% of 10. Like that, if he is saying acidic solution or percentage of acidic here, so acid is what percent of total solution into 100. How much acid we are having? Only 1 liter. How much water we are having? 2 and acid 1. So total equal to 3 liters into 100. That means acid is 33.33% in this solution. Like that, initially we are having 25% acidic. 25% means acid is what percent of our total 30 liters into 100. Okay, then you want to make it 30%. That means if you have to get this here, now you are going to get, and you are removing some water from here, that means you are going to get a value which is less than 30 in the denominator, and multiply with 100, you have to get your acid value from the second equation. Or you just need, you know, acid you are going to get from here. From here, how much water you have to remove, that's what you need to find out. Anyway, if you are having any doubt in this explanation, what I am going to do here is I am going to solve it using normal regular method, and you will know how much time it's actually taking to solve it. So see this one. He is saying that he is having 30 liters of solution. So we know that the total solution in the container is equals to 30 liters, and he is saying that it is already acidic 25%. So acid percentage means acid by total into 100. We know it is 25%. So 25% acid means how much acid you are having in terms of liters by total 30 liters into 100. That means that acid equals to 25 into 30 by 100, which is 7.5 liters. That means in your 30 liters of solution, you are having 7.5 liters acid and remaining all, that is approx like 22.5 liters as water. Now what you are doing is you are removing some water. Okay, then what he want to make the acid 30%. So you have to get the same value, acid as 30%, but this time you are removing the water, means acid is going to remain same. So you are having 7.5 liters acid, but you are removing some water. So let us take, initially the solution is 30 liters and you are removing some W liters of water. like whatever you are removing, that is going to go from water. See, if you remove 1 liter, what will happen? This will become 21.5. So how much you are removing, you have to subtract that value from this total solution. So if we remove W liters of water, now the total solution is 30 minus W into 100. Here you need to find out the value of W, that is going to be your answer. So here what's going to happen here is 30 minus W is equal to 7.5 by 30 into 100. How much you are going to get here? Don't worry, you don't need to do this calculation. I will tell you easiest way using ratio and proportions. You are going to get here 25. So that means that 30 minus W should be equal to 25, means W should be equal to 5 liters. That means out of this 22.5 liters, if you took out 5 liters of water, okay, then you are going to have 22.5 minus 5. You are going to have 17.5 liters of water and 7.5 liters of acid. Now find out the percentage, you will get exactly 30% as your answer. I am going to repeat the problem once again. If you got stuck or if you are unable to understand what I am saying, please let me know. Then I will tell you how to solve it using ratio and proportions. See this one. See guys, initially we are having 30 liters of solution. Let us take, if I am saying 5 is what percent of 10, what we are going to write? 5 by 10 into 100. Similarly, he is saying acid percentage, that means acid is what percent of total 30 liters. So acid percentage equal to acid by total into 100. We know acid is 25 and total is 30. From this you can find out the value of acid in 7.5 liters. But I know that I am removing water. That means acid is going to stay same. Now, but I want to make the acid as 30%. So if I want to make acid as 30%, and if I am having only 7.5 liters of acid, how much water I have to remove? If I remove 1 liter, the solution will become 29 liters. If I remove 2 liters, the solution will become 28 liters. That's why this will become 30 minus W. Why minus W? I am assuming that I am removing W liters of water. So find out the value of W, you are going to get 5 liters as your answer. That's what he is asking. How much water you have to remove? You have to remove 5 liters of water. Please look at the calculation once. Then I will solve the same problem using ratio and proportions. So you will get somewhat easiest way as well as better idea of ratio and proportions. If it is clear, please type C. We will move on to how to solve this problem using ratio and proportions. Okay, let's solve the same using ratio and proportions now. You no need to do this much of calculation. That's using ratio and proportion is much easier. See this one. Okay, how much water should be subtracted? We'll leave this part later on, for later on. Let's see this one. We are having total 30 liters and we are having initially 25% acidic. So let us take two numbers, acid and water. If you are having 25% acid, means remaining everything should be water. That is, total value is always 100%. Out of 100%, if you are having 25% as acid, means remaining 75% should be water. So the ratio is actually 1:3. You no need to worry about 25 and 75. That's what I am saying. You no need to deal with the original numbers. You can simply deal with ratios. So here the ratio of acid to water is 1:3. That is clear up to there. Now what we are doing, we want to make it 30% acidic. This is actually case 1. Now what we want to do here is, we want to make it 30% acidic, means that means water should be remaining 70%. So the ratio is actually 3:7. So initially the ratio is 1:3, but after removing the water the ratio become 3:7. Remember, first step we are having 25% acidic solution. 25% acidic means we are having 25% water and remaining everything, that is 75% as water. Sorry, 25% as acid and remaining 75% as water. So the ratio here is 1:3. Now when we want to make it 30% acidic, that means it has to be 30% acid in the solution, then remaining 70% should be water. So 30% acid and 70% water means the ratio is 3:7. Now the one thing you have to observe here very carefully is, see, out of our total solution we are removing the water but we are not touching acid. That means whatever the acid that is there here before, the same acid has to be there after removing the water. Remember, we are removing the water but we are not doing anything with acid. That means whatever the acid that is there before removal of the water, the same acid has to be there after removal also. Okay, so make sure you are having same acid here, but the problem here is, in the first case we are having only 1 unit of acid, in the second case we are having 3 units of acid. So we have to make sure both of them are same numbers. I told you multiplying or dividing the ratio with the same number is not going to affect your answer. That's why multiply this entire ratio with 3. Then what will happen? You are going to get the pattern and ratios like this. Case 1 as acid, water, 3 into 1 3 and 3 3 is 9. Similarly, case 2 as, do nothing, just simply write 3:7. Now see here, we are having same acid and we are having same acid. And see the water, from 9 the water became 7, that means we are removing 2 parts. But remember, this is in ratio, but we want to find out in terms of liters. For that we have to use this 30 liters to convert our ratio into original numbers. So what is this 30 liters? Actual solution, that is combination of acid plus water in the first case, that is before removal. So before removal, in case 1 we are having 3 units of acid and 9 units of water. So 3 plus 9 we are having 12. So in our case 12 is equal to original problem's 30 liters. How much we are removing? Only 2. So our problem 2 equal to how much in the original problem? Just do the cross multiplication, you will get your answer directly, which is 5 liters. I will repeat the problem once again. Please try to understand what I am saying. See, initially he is saying that there is 25% acid in the solution. So 25% acid means remaining 75% should be water. So the ratio is 1:3. Now in the second case, we want to make the acid 30%, means water should be remaining 70%. So the ratio is 3:7. As you can see there, we are removing the water but we are not touching the acid. So whatever the acid that is here, the same acid should be here. That's why we are making sure both of them are having same integer value. So I am multiplying the entire ratio with 3. So make sure I am having same acid here and here. So the ratio is 3:9 here but 3:7 here. That means I am removing 2 units of water. But I don't want my answer in terms of unit, I want in terms of liters. That's why I want to convert my ratio into original problem. For that, my problem's total solution is how much? This is 3 and this is 9, 12. But original problem total solution is 30. I am removing 2 in my problem. Then what will happen in the original problem? Simply do the cross multiplication. You will get the removed value as 5 liters. Like in the units it is 2, but in the original problem it is 5 liters. Look at the problem for next 1 minute. If you are having any doubt, let me know. Otherwise, please type clear or C. We will move on to the next one. Okay, using the same method, try to find out answer for this question. Do it fast. Then we have to start partnership, then divisibility rules. I'm waiting for your answers. Please try to solve it, give it a try. As long as you don't try, you will never understand whether you understood or not. That's why. Okay, see here. So, what he is saying is, in 50 liters of mixture of milk and water, the ratio of milk and water is 3:5. So, we are having 50 liters of some mixture. In that mixture, we are having both milk and water in the ratio of 3:5. So, let's find out how much milk is there and how much water is there. I am going to explain using normal method first, then we are going to solve the same thing using ratio and proportions. So, 3 plus 5, total 8 parts. So, total 8 parts value is equal to 50 liters means 1 part value is equal to, so I think you are going to get in decimals. Let's find out in decimals only, because 50 by 8, but don't worry, you no need to do this much in the examination. We are going to use ratio and proportions. So, 50 liters and total 8 parts means 50 by 8, you are going to get 1 part equal to 6.25 liters. From this you can find out milk value, that is 3 parts, as 6.25 into 3, that is 18.75 liters, and 5 parts as water, that is 6.25 into 5, 31.25. So, this is our milk and this is our water. Now, he is saying that how much water should be removed from the mixture. That means, you are keeping your milk as 18.75. Let us say this is milk and water ratio. Your milk is 18.75, but you are removing some water. How much water you are having? 31.25. From this you are removing some water. Let us take you are removing W liters of water. Then the ratio became 5:3. It is a straightforward cross multiplication. You can do like this. 18.75 is equal to 5 into 31.25 minus W, or you can do one more thing, you can cancel 5 here, you can divide a 5 with here. That will become how much? 3 into 18.75 by 5, you are going to get 11.25. 11.25 is equal to 31.25 minus W. So, W is equals to 31.25 minus 11.25, which is 20. If you know, or if you are having calculator, doing this is very easy. But the problem here is we are not allowed to use the calculator. Then how you are going to do the problem? So before moving on to that part, I will just explain the problem using normal method once. Then we will solve the same using ratio and proportions. Okay. So what I am saying, I am having 50 liters of solution. In that, milk to water ratio is 3:5. So milk plus water equal to 50 liters, but here ratio 3, ratio 5, that is 8. So 8 units is equal to 50 liters, means 1 unit is equal to 6.25 liters. From that I can find out milk value 3 units and water value 5 units, which are 18.75 and 31.25. That means that in this 50 liters we are having 18.75 liters of milk and 31.25 liters of water. But he is saying that he is removing some water. If he is removing some water, milk has to be the same. So milk is 18.75, but from 31.25 water you are removing some liters of water. So the ratio of milk to water is 3/5 or 5/3, 5:3. Just find out the value of W by simplifying this equation, you will get 20 liters. So if you are having calculator in the examination, doing this calculation is not a big deal. But how you are going to solve when you are not having a calculator, that's what we are going to do next. Just look at the problem for 30 or 40 seconds, then I will tell you how to solve it using ratio and proportions. Okay, the biggest problem here is calculation, because multiplying something with decimals is nearly difficult, and it's going to be impossible sometime also. That's why what I am going to do here is, I am not going to use this method, we are going to apply ratio and proportions. Remember, whichever you are not touching, it has to be always the same. That means that, see, forget about this 15 minutes, we will come back to that one later. So initially ratio of milk and water is 3:5. So we are having milk and water, that is 3:5, and then after removing, let us take you are removing some water of W liters, the ratio becomes 5:3. So this is 5 and this is 3. If you observe the diagram carefully, we are removing the water but we are not touching milk. So whatever the milk that is before, that has to be now also there. That's why make sure these two variables are having the same number here and here, because we are not touching the milk. So you have to make sure both of them are equal to the same number. That's why I am multiplying the first ratio with 5 and second ratio with 3. Then what will happen? We are going to get the new ratios like this: milk, water. 5 into 3, 15, and 5 into 5, 25. Next 3 into 5, 15, 3 into 3, 9. That means initially 15 milk and now also 15 milk. But initially 25 water, but now the water is only 9. So how much you are removing? Almost 16 units. Okay, but I don't want to answer in terms of units, I want in terms of liters. Now you need to convert your ratio into original numbers. How? See this one. We are having 50 liters, that is the initial milk and initial water combination. So here, according to our problem, initial milk is 15 and initial water is 25. So 15 plus 25, 40. So our problem 40 is equal to original problem's 50. How much we are removing here? 16. So our problem 16 equal to how much in the original problem? Just do the cross multiplication, you will get your answer, which is equal to simply 20 liters. No decimals, no extra calculations, you will simply get your answers without doing much, frankly saying. So I will explain once again. Initially we are having the milk and water ratio as 3:5. After removing some water, we are getting the ratio as 5:3. We need to find out how much water we are removing from the mixture. So we know that we are actually removing the water, means we are not touching the acid, milk. So the milk has to be same. That's why I am making sure both of these values are having the same number by multiplying with some other number. Why? Multiplying the ratio is not going to affect the values. So I want both of them to be similar. I can't convert 5 into 3 or 3 into 5. That's why I am making sure both of them are equal to some common number, 15. So multiply the first equation with 5 and second with 3, you will simply get both of them as 15 and water as here. Now if I multiply with 5 then multiply with 3, I am going to get these ratios. Here I am removing 16 units of water, but I do not want in terms of units, I want in terms of actually liters. That is why I am converting my values into original problem. See this one, initial milk 15, initial water 25. So total is how much? 40 here. So my problem 40 equal to original problems 50 liters. So my problem how much I am removing? 16 units. So how much in the original problem? Do the cross multiplication, you will get your answer as 20 liters. Look at the problem once. If it is clear, type C. We will move on to the next one. Okay, I hope this one is clear. So these are the less like you can solve any kind of ratio problems. It's not going to cross this level. Now what we are going to do is we are having one more easiest topic, that is ratio and proportions. We will cover that in the next 15 minutes. Okay. So if anybody is having any doubt, please let me know there itself. We will cover ratio and proportions. Sorry, we will cover divisibility rules now. So see here, I will explain the divisibility rules one by one. Like divisibility rules means, let us take I am having this random number, some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 8 or not. How can I find out without doing the actual calculation? That is what we are going to learn here. We are going to do one by one. We know that 1 can be divisible by all the numbers. So 1 is divisible by all. So no rule, nothing here. Let us go for one by one later on. Now what is the rule for 2 here? See guys, write 2 as 2 power 1. How much power you are having here? Only 1. That is why if the last one digit is divisible by 2, 2 power 1 equal to 2. All 2, 2 square, 2 cube are going to have similar kind of rules. That is why I am writing it as 2 power 1. If I am having only 1 in the power, means if the last one digit is divisible by 2, then you can say the entire number is divisible by 2. For example, I am having 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 2 or not. Divisible in the sense, are you going to get the remainder as 0 or not? So if I don't need to check the entire number, I just want to check, or I just need to check only the last number. If the last one number is divisible by 2, yes, 4 is divisible by 2, then I can say this entire number will be also divisible by 2. So that is the rule for 2. So the rule for 2 here is, if the last one digit is divisible by 2, then you can say the entire number will be also divisible by 2. Next, 2 square. What is 2 square? 4. How much you are having here? Power 4. Power is 2. That means that if the last two digits are divisible by 4, then the entire number will be also divisible by 4. That means, let us take I am having 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, something like this. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 4 or not. I no need to check the entire number, I just need to check the last two digits. Yes, the last two digits are divisible by 4, so that number will be also divisible by 4. Similarly, 2 cube. What is 2 cube? 8. How much power is there? 3. That means if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then the entire number will be also divisible by 8. Like 3, 6, 8, 3, 4, 3, 2, 8, something like this. If I want to check whether this number is divisible by 8 or not, I no need to worry about all the previous numbers or the numbers before the last 3 digits. If I can confirm that the last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then I can say the entire number will be also divisible by 8. So that's a rule for 2, 4 and 8. For 2 the last one digit, for 4 last 2, for 8 last 3. Bro. Okay, for 2 last one digit, for 4 last 2, for 8 last 3 digits. I will cover all the numbers once, then I will come back to revision once again. Okay, first I will explain, then I will come back for revision. Okay, go. We will learn up to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. We are done with 1, we are done with 2, we are done with 8 and we are done with 4. Now let us go for 3. So the rule for 3 here is, if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then you can say the number will be also divisible by 3. That means that, let us take, I am having 123. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 3 or not. Simply what you need to do is, you have to add the individual digits. If the answer you are getting is divisible by 3, then the number will be also divisible by 3. Like add 1 plus 2 plus 3, 6. Is 6 divisible by 3? Yes. Then 123 also divisible by 3, like that. Then what is 3 square? 3 square is 9. So for 9 also rule is same. Sum of the digits should be divisible by 9. For example, I want to check whether 819 is divisible by 9 or not. Simply add all the numbers. If the answer of those sum is divisible by 9, then the number will be also divisible by 9. Don't worry, I will repeat all the rules once again. So we are done with 3 and 9 also. Next, what is the rule for 5? The rule for 5 here is, the unit digit should be 0 or 5, like 5 ones are 5, 2 5s are 10, 3 5s are 15. If we check, the last number is always 5 or 0. So if the last one digit is 0 or 5, then you can say the number will be divisible by 5. Then what is the rule for 10? The rule for 10 here is, the last digit or unit digit should be equals to 0, like 10, 20, 300, 350, like all those numbers. If you are having the last one digit as 0, that number is divisible by 10. Next, what is the rule for 6? The rule for 6 here is, we know that 6 equal to 2 into 3. So if a number is following both the rules of 2 and 3, then that number is divisible by 6. For example, take 18. I want to check whether 18 is divisible by 6 or not. Is 18 following the rule of 2? Yes. The last digit is divisible by 2. Is 18 following the rule of 3? Yes. 1 plus 8 equal to 9. 9 divisible by 3 means that is following the rule of 3. So if a number is following both the rules of 2 and 3, then I can say that number is divisible by 6 also. Done with 6. Don't worry, I will write all the rules once again. I am just want to explain, then I will come back to all the rules one more time. Next, let's go for 7, 11 and 12. The rule for 7. Let us take, I want to check whether this number is divisible by 7 or not. So for that, what you need to do here is, take the last digit in the number, units place number, multiply that number with 2. I mean, you have to double the last digit and subtract that multiplied number from the remaining numbers. From the remaining numbers means these 3. Subtract the doubled number from the remaining digits. If the answer after removing or subtracting, if the answer is divisible by 7, then the number will be also divisible by 7. I am going to repeat once again. Let us take 14, 7, 21. I am having some number like this. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 7 or not. For that, what I have to do here is, take the last digit, like out of 14721, what is the last digit? 1. Make it double. Subtract from the remaining digits, like 1472 minus 2. Subtract from the remaining digits. If the answer is divisible by 7, then this number will be also divisible by 7. If you are feeling that, if you are still getting somewhat larger number, you can apply the rule once again. That is, let us take, I got this somewhat bigger number, I don't know whether this number is divisible by 7 or not. So you can apply the rule once again. So 0 into 2 is 0, subtract that from the remaining number, like 147 minus 0 is 147. Is 147 divisible by 7? Yes. Then this number is divisible by 7, then this number is divisible by 7. Take the last digit, make it double, subtract from the remaining numbers. If the answer is divisible by 7, then the given number will be also divisible by 7. Take the last digit, make it double, subtract from the remaining digits. If the answer is divisible by 7, then the number will be also divisible by 7. Don't worry, I will repeat once again all the rules. Now, what is the rule for 11? So, rule for 11 here is, the difference between odd places sum and even places sum should be equal to 0. Like, let us take 1 to 1, 1 to 1, something like this. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 11 or not. You need to add all the odd places. I am not saying, okay, even places sum and odd places sum. I am not saying odd number, I am saying odd places. That means that the first place, third place, fifth place, add all these numbers, 1 plus 1 plus 2, that is 4. Add all the even places, 2 plus 1 plus 1, 4. Subtract one from the other, you should get 0. Then only that number is divisible by 11. For example, 1331, 1331. I want to check whether this number is divisible by 11 or not. Add all the odd places, like 1, 3, 5, 7 places. So add all of them, 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 3, 8. Add all the even places, like second place, fourth place and so on. 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 8. The difference should be always 0. Then only that number is divisible by 11. The difference between summation of even places numbers and summation of odd places numbers should be equal to 0. There is a rule for 11. The last rule, that is 12th rule. I will write all of them once again, don't worry. The rule for 12 here is, what you do? See, 12 can be written as 2 into 6 and 3 into 4. Now, which combination you have to check, whether this one or this one. So, whenever you got more than one combination, you have to check for co-primes. Co-primes means LC, if you calculate the LCM, that should be equal to product of the numbers, and HCF should be equal to 1. Remember, co-primes are not prime numbers. Co-primes are those pairs whose LCM is equals to product of the numbers and HCF is always equal to 1. For example, if you take those two pairs, for this one, LCM if you calculate, you are going to get 6. That is not the product of the numbers. So, this is not a co-prime. But if you take this pair, LCM equal to 12 and HCF equal to 1. So, LCM equal product of the numbers. So, this is the co-prime. So, if a number is following both the rules of 3 and 4, then you can say that number will be divisible by 12 also. Like, let us take 24. 24, is it following the rule of 4? Yes, last 2 digits. Is it following the rule of 3? Yes, sum of the numbers is divisible by 3. So, this number is also divisible by 12. I will write all the rules once, then we can wind up and go. Okay. So, it is divisibility rules. You are going to get 1 or 2 questions max. So, try to pay attention. The first one we all know, all numbers. All the natural numbers are divisible by 1, no issue. Next one, the rule for 2. The rule for 2 here is, if the last one digit is divisible by 2, then that number is divisible by 2. If the last one digit, like 1, 2, 3, 4, the last digit is 4. If the last one digit is divisible by 2, then the entire number will be also divisible by 2. What is the rule for 3? If you add all the individual digits, that sum should be divisible by 3. What is the rule for 4? If the last 2 digits are divisible by divisible by 4, if the last 2 digits are divisible by 4, then the entire number is divisible by 4. What is the rule for 5? The last digit should be 0 or 5. What is the rule for 6? Rules of both 2 and 3. Next, what is the rule for 7? take the last digit, multiply it with 2, then subtract from remaining numbers. Okay, then if the answer is divisible by 7, then the number will be also divisible by 7. Let us take 1 4 1 4, take the last digit, that is 4, multiply with 2, 8. So subtract 8 from the remaining digits. Okay, so if the answer, like 141 minus 8, if that answer is divisible by 7, then the number will be also divisible by 7. So you are going to get 133. So is 133 divisible by 7? Yes, 19 times. So this number will be also divisible by 7. So if the answer is divisible by 7, then the number will be also divisible by 7. Next, the rule for 8. If the last 3 digits are divisible by 8, then the number will be also divisible by 8. The rule for 9. Sum of the numbers should be divisible by 9. The rule for 10. Last digit should be 0. The rule for 11. Sum of all the odd places numbers minus sum of all the even places numbers, or vice versa, sum of the even places numbers. The difference should be always equals to 0. Then only that number is divisible by 11. Then what is the rule for 12? Rules of both 3 and 4. If a number is following both the rules of 3 and 4, that number is divisible by 12 also. Look at the rule once. If it is clear, type yes or type C. Okay, from tomorrow onwards we are going to start interesting topics like time and work, profit and loss, all those topics. Okay, so please don't miss the class from tomorrow. This is just to give you some idea of what we are going to do next. If you are having any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, simply type yes or clear. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time. So if you respond fast, we can go fast. That is as simple as that. Please respond. So if you respond fast, and we are having 2 more minutes. If anybody is having any doubt, please write in the chat box. I will wait for the next 2 minutes. Otherwise, you can leave. If anybody is having any doubt, I will wait 2 minutes online. Please write your doubt in the chat box. I will clear that one. Otherwise, you can leave. Thank you. Okay, thank you all. I'm ending the stream. We'll meet again at the same time tomorrow.